Hello again. Continuing exactly where I left off last time, it appears trouble has found us once again. As the Comitatus is scaling another stretch of black sand dunes, one of the outriders you had sent out to screen your left flank rides in on the line and heads immediately to you. You can see the man is in a panic right away from the way he hops off the saddle while decelerating and almost falls over. Before he reaches you, your guardsmen are already setting up a defensive perimeter to the east. You beckon to the beast drivers to hold the line. Vagrus, they are coming. I saw them walking over the dunes. The pilgrims are coming. A murmur of terror washes over the Comitatus. Clearly, your scout was referring to the last pilgrimage. This group of spectral horrors is known to appear out of nowhere and eradicate even large groups of travelers in a matter of minutes. Nobody quite knows what happens to those who encounter them up close, as nobody has lived to tell the tale. Some reckless people were reputedly able to take a peek at the otherworldly wayfarers, but during your many years as a Vagrus, you have never met any such person whose story was credible. You know all too well that if your outrider tells the truth, and you see no reason why he wouldn't, the only chance of survival is for all of you to run or to hide. Well, if it was anything like a sandstorm, I would say hunkering down is the good option, since you can't exactly outrun that. But with ghosts, I think we have a chance if we make a run for it. But we'll see. You turn the whole Comitatus around and make haste westwards at the right angle to the espied direction in which the pilgrims are reportedly moving. After an hour of hauling ass, you make the line stop. Scouting parties you have sent out saw no sign of the spectral menace. So, you turn back and realign with the original direction you were traveling, headed south-southwest. You lost a lot of time today, but at least now you can say that you have come fairly close to the last pilgrimage and live to tell the tale. Crisis averted, looks like. We lost 4 movement. Doesn't really matter since we were at the very end of it anyway. Well, what this means is that we can't gather supplies. Well, we actually have no chance of gathering any. I suppose it's because we're in the middle of a goddamn desert. Okay. After this day, I will officially be unable to pay my comitatus, unless we get a very good price for all the iron. Everyone is still okay. Javek might get a little worse. I got 5 days worth of supplies left. Oh, Javek did heal. That's nice. Okay, we are not even halfway from scrap heap to Avernum. Does this update in real time? Looks like it, yeah. So it's another 4 or 5 days of travel. Looks like we are really gonna cut it close with our supplies. Well, since we are in the desert anyway, might as well march as far as we can. Ooh, what's this? The Comitatus climbs the last black dune and comes to a halt on your mark. Standing on one of the carts, you spy the horizon carefully before hopping down and convening with your most trusted. Ahead looms the voiceless lake, a place of deathly quiet and utter peril. The lava flow of this particular tendril of the molten tongue cools down here, below a tough shell of hard, dark rock, covered by steaming water. Yet the shell is not solid enough in places. It can crack in the blink of an eye and open under one's foot, leading to a sudden, scalding death. Yikes. So it's basically a marshland, but with lava instead of water. Ooh, that's gnarly. There are ways to guess where it is safe to cross, but it has to be done slowly and attentively. Your scouts know their way around here, but because the lava changes constantly beneath the shell, they have to rely on finding a new way through each time. The lake is voiceless because everyone has to keep completely quiet. That way, one might hear the shifting lava and the cracking shell just in time to avoid disaster. Your lieutenants agree that crossing over to the far side of the shell is still better than going around and into Arenas Negras, however. I think that's the Black Sand Desert. Especially after coming so close to the last pilgrimage a few days ago, nobody in their right mind would go near the damn place. And so you are stuck with the plateau surrounding the voiceless lake. Let's see our chances. Plus 30 from perceptive. Plus 18 from navigation. We have nothing from a Scoutmaster, but we could. It's too bad you don't see the overall success chance. Just relatively. And the game still doesn't tell me what resourcefulness is. But I think I'm gonna use it anyway, because I really don't want to mess up. That's probably gonna cost the Comitatus at least a couple people. Okay, 53 to 93. Resourcefulness added 15, so it was a 78 base chance. I could have taken it. Going step by step, listening carefully to any telltale sounds while sweating profusely, every member of the Comitatus manages to make it through. After hours that felt like days, you can turn away from the accursed lake and head southwards. The crew becomes animated as you leave the perilous plateau behind, even joking among themselves, but the constipated silence back there. Good riddance, voiceless lake. Oh, and the experience gained us 1 morale. Everyone is eager now. That is very good.
Just as we were about to leave that damnable lake behind, we heard it. An abominable shriek pierced the air and made us gasp. It came from behind some hills nearby, coupled with the ruckus of battle. The armed women and men of the comitatus looked at their Vagrus questioningly.
Scouts come running toward the cart line as you are about to enter the Badlands south of the lake, and hear what could only be described as a paralyzing howl, accompanied by the unmistakable sounds of battle. There's a battle going on, Vagrus, just beyond yonder hills. The scout points southeast. Some armed folks are being attacked by bloody undead. A murmur washes over the crew, and many of them ready their weapons. Not to give aid to fellow travelers in dire need is believed to attract dire peril onto yourself. Besides, it would be better to fight the undead together than alone if it comes to that. The tension is rising with each passing moment, with everyone watching you, waiting for you to give the order. Okay, let's try to blindside these undead. I feel like if we're gonna try to leave, they might as well just come after us later. With weapon drawn and shouting to give the man over the hills some hope, you run ahead, followed closely by your fighting crew. You might get there in time to save these people. Your comrades are up for a fight. And we gain even more morale. You clamber over the next few hills and look down upon the site of a brutal melee. Bodies are strewn across the field. Most of them are mutilated undead, but some are mangled and burnt humans in dark clothes. Another such man, a robed priest with a shaven head, falls to the ground after flying half a dozen yards, following a bone-crunching hit from a looming white giant. The creature looks as if it is made up of several bodies, fused by some combination of natural disaster and twisted magic. The rest of the shamblers look like they are smoldering. The great white abomination engages the two last men standing, a white-faced, lightly armored enforcer with a shield, and a tall man in elaborate black armor, wielding a greatsword. Both of them look the worse for wear. There is no time to lose. You and yours rush to the aid of the two men. Fight commences as your men engage the undead. Before the first round is started, you have to deploy your companions to the available positions on the friendly side. You do not need to deploy all your companions. Sometimes it is best to avoid sending a wounded companion into battle, or simply to leave some space to maneuver. Before deploying a companion, you can switch between their defense mode, block or evade, by clicking the defense mode button. Shield icon next to their portrait. Defense modes are set to the higher value mode by default. You can use the top right section of the deployment window to save 3 deployment templates. You save after selecting a template number that you can use later. Okay, that's gonna be this one. You can deploy a companion by selecting their portrait from the roster and clicking on an empty position or dragging it there. Revert the deployment by clicking on the base of a character. Certain companions may have different deployment conditions. Hover over their portraits to learn more. In this fight, some allies are already deployed and you will take control of them, but you cannot change their deployment. Morven is useful in the front row, while Javek's abilities favor the back row. When you are done deploying, initiate combat by clicking the Begin Fight button. Okay, game. Executor of Sergorod. He only has melee skills. So even though he's almost dead, we kinda have to keep him here. And cannot move any of them. And here we have Sedarius, Let's see, I can probably mop up these ones. How about I put Javek right here to be protected? Morven over here. Let's see. Your evade is higher than your block. Okay, I think this works. If not, I'm just gonna reload and do it again. Yeah, that looked like it was scripted. Some skills can target friendly units to support, protect, or even heal them. In this fight, a lot of Javek's skills cannot be used because undead enemies are immune to mind-affecting effects. Javek is far from useless, however, as you can use his premonition skill to keep his allies buffed with additional initiative, accuracy, evade, and block. Buffs do not stack but are refreshed when recast. Okay. We already learned this, but always nice to know. Okay, Sedarius is immune to stun and fear. Let's buff him up a little. Combat is cruel, and in general you cannot heal during it. Your defenses are your main way to mitigate damage. Evade allows you to completely avoid an attack, but you will be moved to an adjacent unoccupied position after a successful evade. That also means that they may move away from a position that protects another companion. A successful block provides extra armor against the attack, mitigating more damage. However, you can still suffer damage while blocking, and also suffer adverse effects from an attack. Each companion has different evade and block chance, but because certain skills are better against one or the other, you often have to change these by clicking the defense mode icon at the character portrait. This one right here. You can only do this for the companion whose turn it is. Indeed. You know, I had the thought in the previous episode with the first combat tutorial, but if you were to look at this setup, your guys in the left, enemies on the right, for skills and the move, I think most people would say that this is Darkest Dungeon-like, but it actually reminds me of another game. I'm not sure if you have heard of it, but there is an indie title called Dead in Vinland. It's about a Viking family surviving on an island. And this companion combat actually reminds me of that game, especially this grid. It's almost identical. I wonder if they had any inspiration from that. Just an interesting tidbit here. Okay, so you already had your turn. Almost. Sedarius is a very tough companion due to his armor and good defenses. His skills also include a support skill that enhances his stats, the Vengeance skill, and one that debilitates an enemy, Bane, both for several rounds. Some skills can affect multiple targets. Sedarius' Cleave deals less damage than his single target Unholy Strike, but it targets two enemies that stand side by side. So he's pretty much a crusader. Let's see. Okay, so I can target the back row if this is a setup like this. Okay. Bane gives the enemy -3 initiative and -30 accuracy. I feel like debuffing the big guy is gonna be key here. And we have Vengeance that increases his damage and accuracy. I think I messed up with that one. Probably should have clicked here and it immediately auto-targeted up here. Oh well. You, the Vagrus, may not take part directly in companion combat, but that does not mean you have no means to influence it. Many of your leadership perks allow you to use resourcefulness in various ways in combat. There we go, now we're getting into it. As you can see, I used 2 resourcefulness in that event already, so it looks like that it hasn't replenished. Whichever you have unlocked can be found on the leader medallion in the form of buttons along with the menu button. So it's gonna be these ones. Consult their tooltips to learn what to use them for. You have 2 options for now. Aid, which allows you to revive downed companions. The button is only active if you have a downed companion. A companion is downed after losing all their vitality. They are not removed from combat but cannot act and have to be protected, because if their downed vitality is depleted, they become severely wounded. Downed characters also do not provide cover from line of sight attacks to those behind them. So it's kinda like the Romancing Saga games. Haven't played much of those, but I always found that interesting. That you have like a secondary health pool in that. And you can actually permanently kill your companions that way. Let's see, Inspire, which gives a substantial defense buff to a target for 3 rounds. Okay, use Inspire to give a character additional defenses. Takes 2 resourcefulness. Let's inspire Morven. Don't want to spend too much time healing her back up. Oh my. That is a substantial buff. Plus 30 evade, block and resist. Okay, resist doesn't look like armor, so maybe it means debuff resist or the like. Okay, you are buffed. Yeah, looks like the undead really are immune to all of Javek's attacks. So how about I double down on the buffs here? Okay, these ones stack. Let's see. Let's get rid of this one. I think the big one's gonna take all our efforts. Okay, Okay, does this work if I click it properly? Again, that wasn't proper. Okay, now I'm gonna strafe to be closer to the big guy. I said. Ah, there we go. So first you select the target, then where you move. Good enough. Let's refresh premonition here. And I'm gonna hit vengeance first, before starting to hit the boss. Yikes, that wasn't very nice. Thankfully, it's out of power. So it's not gonna be able to use any of its big skills. However, it has flail, which can hit 2 in a row. In other words, Morwen's gonna get out of here. You know what, let's pass the turn for now. Okay, can I hit you and strafe away? Yeah, that's probably the way it's gonna go. Now you're sufficiently buffed up. Let's try hitting you. Okay. Keep refreshing the buff. And I'm gonna hit until the damage. Oh, so that's how it is, game. Okay. So this is how. Well, no. It's not supposed to work like that. Yikes, hanging on with a single health point. That's really troubling. You get a buff. I'm gonna keep you away. I don't think you can hit melee skills from that far. Let's see, this round I still have the damage buff. Let's make the most of it. Ooh, nice. That's gonna cut it real close. Yeah, you're useless here. Actually, let's debuff you a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish in this turn. That's 4 to 6 damage, but he has 2 armor and a 20% chance to have even more. Yeah, not likely to kill with this. Well, I do survive another crit, so... yeah, sure, what the hell. Speaking of... yeah, these crits are no joke, man. Do you have a crit chance somewhere? %. So apparently that 8% is about as low as a 95 to hit is high in an XCOM game, which is to say, absolutely not. Victory achieved. It is over. The undead finally stop moving, their bodies lying mutilated all around the hills. The large abomination was hacked to pieces, and is now a jumbled pile of ash and petrified bones. Some of your crew also got torn up. There are several wounded and 1 dead. The man in the black armor is the only one of his company who survived the battle. He is sitting on a rock nearby, covered in ash from hacking at the abomination, drinking ponderously from a water skin, while he is observing the battlefield. His grim gaze wanders from one slain companion to the other, as if wanting to make sure that all of them are dead. At length, his piercing gaze finds you, and a chill runs down your spine. There is no doubt in your mind that the man and you need to talk. You walk over to the black-armored man and address him. Okay, we lost a fighter. Unfortunately, that's gonna mean that we don't have enough to properly stand guard while we're camping. We had 7. Then we needed 7. Well, we do have an outrider. I guess we can dismount him. You walk up to the man and offer him your hand. He looks you up and down in a fashion that suggests mild contempt. His great sword, forged of steel, lies across his lap. He does not take your hand. You seem to be the leader of this. The man is looking for the word as he eyes the comitatus. Company of travelers. What is your business here? The bluntness of the question, coupled with the man's evident hostility and ungratefulness, leaves you speechless. Perhaps it is for the best. You notice that the man is bearing the symbol of Surgorod, which should make you cautious. One quick aside here. Surgorod is the god of vengeance, anger, malevolence, and curses. Member of the Triumvirate, he is one of the 3 gods of the Empire's official religion. He is regarded as the war god of the new pantheon, but in truth, he is much more than that. His church is tasked with upholding the law in cities, hunting down criminals, and delivering justice. Okay, so he's basically the long arm of the law. I'd rather not be on his bad side then. Let's see. Tell him that you are a trading comitatus traveling south. I see. So you turning up here is a matter of utter coincidence, I take. When you assure him it is, he narrows his eyes and pierces you with his gaze. There is a tense moment that seems to take forever. You are truthful, Vagrus. Commendable. The man rises from the rock. He towers over you now, and it dawns on you that the war gear he carries makes him either a very rich or a very powerful person in the metal-starved world, or both. I am grateful for your assistance in this skirmish, late as it was, he says, turning to look at Javek, who appears at your side and bows his head to the man. Without acknowledging your friend or his greeting, the armored fellow turns to you again. My name is Sedarius. I am a knight of Ordis Negras Solis, the Order of the Black Sun. Sounds like. By aiding me, Vagrus, you have aided Imperial law. You must have some questions of your own. Now is your chance to ask them. Best not make him wait. Sedarius stands before you, head cocked to the side, his blade resting on his shoulder, awaiting your questions. So, what about this fight? My company was drawn here with the false promise of finding the hideout of enemies of the Empire. Instead, a large group of undead surrounded us, most likely drawn here by some vile trickery, and we had to fight for our lives. You arrived towards the end of a drawn-out battle and saw my last companions fall. We fought with Sergorod's rage and with the Emperor in our hearts, but there were just too many of the Shamblers. Looking around, you now realize how savage the confrontation must have been. Dozens and dozens of undead lie all around the field, and only half a dozen of Sedarius' dead companions. Anything else? He already said what he was doing here. What about your companions? My companions lie dead. There is nothing else you need to know, save only that they were all dedicated servants of the Empire, who did not flinch in the face of the ultimate adversity. They were all either members of the Church of Sergorod or my order. I led them here in hopes of hunting down traitors, but they were betrayed in turn. I will not rest until I avenge such treachery. He grits his teeth so hard you are afraid they would crack. There is an unholy light in his eyes for a few brief moments. By the grace of the Triumvirate, I now have the opportunity to do so. Ask him about his order. The Order of the Black Sun is one of the Fulcimus Imperium, as you know. We are adherents of Sergorod and Ashkul. We are the best of the best, enforcers of the Empire, hunting down criminals and traitors, guarding our great leaders, and leading military operations. This hunt was also one such task we typically undertake. From the way he speaks of the knightly order, it is clear to you that Sedarius is utterly dedicated to it. In other words, he's a paladin. Gotcha. Okay, what were you doing here? I and my companions came here in search of enemies of the Empire, to smoke them out of their hideout here in the wilds. It was supposed to be the last glorious battle, concluding a long investigation that took months. As you can see, it went down quite differently. It is now my assumption that we've been betrayed and a trap was set for us. The traitors we were supposed to apprehend lured us here, along with these undead, and hoped to see us all slaughtered. Sergorod, however, in his endless salience, saw fit to grant me an opportunity for retribution. Rejoice, Vagrus. You have been an instrument of the divine, sent here by Sergorod himself to aid me in my quest for vengeance. So, what do you want to do now? I intend to return to Avernum. What a coincidence. I'm going there too. I have to debrief my superiors there of what happened today, and I also want to look more into the lead that ultimately brought me here. Sedarius fixes you with his gaze. Your destination does not happen to be Avernum, does it? You can't help but tell him the truth. You are too well aware that lying to one of the Knights of the Black Sun is high treason. It is the first time you see Sedarius' malevolent smile. Oh boy. Good. I shall join you for the journey. Irafons teaches us to share the burdens of the road. Now, tell your men to pile up the bodies of my companions. Burning them without the proper rituals is not becoming such heroes of the Empire. But we have no time for much else. Also, gather all their belongings while you're at it. Make it happen, Vagrus. In the meantime, someone skillful enough should take a look at my wounds. You are about to leave to give the orders when Sidarius goes after you. And just so everyone knows, the danger might still be looming over us. The traitors who I was supposed to find must be around here, keeping a distance. They surely would have finished me off had I managed to conquer all the undead by myself. I doubt they are going to make a move now that you are here, but who knows what their desperation will drive them to. Though your crew does not like to be ordered around by a stranger, they too agree that the slain should be tended to. The pile is burning and the cart line is ready to leave in an hour. It seems you have to take Sidarius to Avernum. As the Comitatus is crossing into the Badlands, you climb on the cart where the resting Sidarius is sitting in the back. You can see that he is holding something small in his hands and is observing it attentively. This is a fetish charm, one that the kindly sisters and the disciples of Ashkul used to attract the reanimated dead. The knight tosses you a small bone charm, complete with arcane writing in black ink and some teeth they attach to the centerpiece. I disabled it, do not worry. These filthy traitors may have used the stolen charm to ensnare my contingent, but I still am anointed in the faith of Ashkul. And I swear they will suffer for this atrocity. You give the charm back to the knight. There is also the matter of the belongings of my fallen comrades. I expect you to hold on to them until we reach Avernum. We'll discuss them there. You nod and turn toward the horizon. Whether you like it or not, you are bound to the night for the next few days to come. Travel on towards Avernum. We got 1 Sergorodite arms.
The Dark Knight joined us after we rescued him from the clutches of the mindless undead horrors that slaughtered his companions. He was a grim sort, displaying no gratitude or companionship. Yet we were stuck with him, for a lawman such as the Knight could make his dreadful will ours by command. So we set out, bound for Avernum, the greatest city in the vicinity.
Leader management is now active. Click on the medallion to open the leader window. This one here. The leader window allows you to observe and interact with your character, the Vagrus. Your current insight is displayed at the top right. This one right here. We can have a maximum of 1000. Insight is gained mainly through events and can be used to purchase perks and other improvements for the Vagrus and to your companions. So this is like the way it was in the Age of Decadence. I don't remember if it was called Insight 2 or something else. Oh well. Perks are abilities that have levels and are used in various situations. Initial and maximum perk levels, as well as available perks, are specific to each character. Attributes and professions are used in events, though most provide bonuses elsewhere. You can find more information below about each of these by clicking on their names. And because this is the prologue and the story that is told by the old man, we already have a complete character here. I'm going to make someone entirely different when I'm starting the campaign proper. You can purchase any number of perks if your insight allows you, by clicking on the empty slots next to each perk representing its next level. When you want to finalize the changes you've made, use the confirm button right here. You can undo a change by using the revert button right here. Select and purchase the prepare leadership perk now. That's here. You can use resourcefulness to place a companion to the front of the initiative order in companion combat. It costs 6 insight and 2 resourcefulness. Now, is it a permanent cost, or does it cost from the one that I have? Because right now my maximum is 6. The absolute maximum is 12. Related status effects become ineffective once you reach that level. I have no idea what that means. Let's buy the prepare for now. Leadership perks are perks specific to the Vagrus. Each of them lets you use resourcefulness to boost your action in a certain way when unlocked. Consult with their descriptions to learn more. Resourcefulness allows you to boost various actions. It replenishes each day. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so it would cost 14 insight to increase it. And I'm guessing because this is a daily resource, putting a few more would open things up for you in the long run. Yeah, its maximum can be raised by spending insight on it. What you can spend the resourcefulness on depends on your unlocked leadership perks. Plus, you can always use it to increase your chance with events. Authority is the maximum number of deputies you can have at any given time. So it's basically like charisma. Higher authority also makes your companions less likely to abandon you in the open world campaign. You need no additional authority in Pilgrims of the Wasteland. Well, no, authority doesn't sound like charisma actually. I think the deputies are like the specialized roles you can give your companions. So we have maximum of 2 for now. Okay, click on the helmet icon. Go to companions. Okay, now we have this one unlocked. The Companion's Pane allows you to view and manage your companions, characters that can join you in your travels and serve you in varied ways. Their stats are displayed on the top left. This block right here. While their combat skills are on the bottom left. Okay, then these can be upgraded too. The current level of each combat skill can be viewed, but you can also preview the next level of skills. I just did that. The scroll icon at the bottom of the companion's image can be used to reveal their backstories. This one right here. I see. And here we can use this arrow to go through them. Ah, being assigned to the deputy position increases wages. I see, so this must be why the daily wages went up suddenly. Because we got more when was immediately assigned as a deputy. Similarly, the pendant icons can be clicked to reveal the available gear the companion can equip into one of the two slots and gain its benefits by dragging and dropping from the list. Gear can be unequipped by dragging it back to the list. Okay, you are currently hurt, which also decreases your maximum vitality. We got one luck talisman, extra accuracy and evade, a small talisman to bring you luck. A lot of people carry one, but do they believe in it? Doesn't really matter if you believe in it. You have it. And that's the point. Okay, where did I click now? Okay, this must be the upgrades. This is the prowess window, where you can upgrade your companions. Prowess is the general power level of the companion, ranging from 1 to 9. That's kinda low. Each unlocked level of prowess gives the companion an amount of proficiency points that can be spent on upgrading their perks. Raising prowess costs insight from the leader. Ah, I see. So you cannot power level your companions and have other stuff. In the main campaign, levels 4, 6 and 8 of prowess can only be unlocked after the companion storyline progresses beyond a certain point. Ah, I see. In Pilgrims of the Wasteland, companions can be upgraded up to the 3rd prowess level. Perk descriptions and proficiency costs can be observed by clicking on their names. Deputy perks, combat traits, and combat skills are unique to companions. Combat traits give them passive bonuses in combat, while combat skills are what they use in battle. Each level of skill is represented by a perk. Attributes are used in event tests, as well as requirements for combat skills and traits, but have no direct effect in combat. So basically, if you want to have one companion that you use for combat, then you're gonna increase their skills and the attributes that come with it. Okay. Upgrading works the same way as with leaders. You can spend any amount of proficiency, then confirm changes with the confirm button. You can undo all changes by using the revert button. Be very careful what you spend proficiency on. Once purchased, perks cannot be changed. Okay, upgrade Morven's prowess. And purchase any perks or skills you'd like. When finished, close this window. Okay. So, for 4 insight, I have 6. This grants 12 proficiency. Okay, you are a scoutmaster. Max movement, scouting base chance. Opens up a navigation equipment slot. The head of the scouts coordinates their activities. So not exactly combat oriented. You got professions here. Beast lore, herb lore, so hunting or foraging. That's even more hunting. Navigation, skulker for ambush. I don't see how that is useful for us right now. Survival, foraging, charismatic, dexterous, mighty, perceptive, savvy, strong-minded, tough. Can't get any of these. Ooh, acrobatic, you can choose where to move after a successful evade. Die hard. When you get down, you have 30% chance to immediately get back up on 25%. Max vitality. Thick skull, you're immune to stun. Wow, these are really nice passives actually. What to pick for now? Okay, I think vigilance goes against the chance that you will be ambushed during a camp. So I think I want to max that one out. I think this +2 vigilance is stack. At least I hope so. Okay, these professions are rather cheap. No, there we go. It's just the first level that was cheap. Let's grab one survival and one herb lore. That is extra foraging chance. It should add up in the long run. Okay, Strafe 2 needs one dexterous. I can do that. Not that it matters all that much for this prologue, but still. This looks good. Okay, where do I... Okay, here is how I go back. What's this? Loyalty, neutral. The loyalty of your companion to the comitatus and you in particular. Your choices and actions influence this standing, but each companion likes and dislikes different things. Talk to them to find out more. Better loyalty can open up new story options with your companion, while loyalty can lead to them abandoning the crew eventually. Got levels of loyalty: loyal, friendly, congenial, neutral, disgruntled, and resentful. Alright. I'm guessing these are dynamically changing. Not like once you get up to loyal, they're going to remain that forever, like in certain RPGs. Okay, so I have 6 fighters left, and I need 7 to be partially defended. So I'm going to unmount an outrider here, because safe camping is much more important. Speaking of, let's do that now. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna use medical supply here. Oh, and it doesn't flip the numbers. I suppose last time was just a happy coincidence. See, fervent morale gives quite an amount of bonuses. Of course, it's not gonna stay that high forever. Still no supplies anywhere. This will have to do. Okay, moving on. Your crew grumbles. It is not a rare thing, as there is always a reason to grumble. But this time, they bitch and moan about not getting paid, which is a fairly good reason, if there was any. You notice the signs and are quite aware that it cannot go on like this forever. Otherwise, the least unsettling thing that happens is that they start leaving. Then they are going to steal your belongings too. And there are much, much worse alternatives. Just keep in mind to pay their due. It is currently higher than I have money, so I literally cannot pay them. But Avernum should be close. The whole comitatus becomes agitated as a dust cloud appears in the east and starts to move towards you. You give orders to your crew to prepare for a dust storm. Such a thing is fairly common out here on the border of the Searing Plains, and you should have little trouble traversing it. Make the necessary arrangements and head on south. After half an hour, the cloud is much closer, and it is now certain that it will cross your path. By then, everyone is wearing protective masks or bandanas, and all the cargo and equipment are secured. Javek is riding a large beast of burden, having fastened himself to its back, deep in concentration to maintain the calmness of all your animals with his telepathic skills. Wow, that's really handy. But something is off. An uncanny twilight is settling on the broken plains around you. It is much too early for sunset, and the storm itself should not blot out light in such a manner. And then you hear it. Chanting. Chanting on the wind. And a pale light at the heart of the storm heading your way. You can see the faces of the crew slowly becoming distorted in panic. Yeah, I think the pilgrims are heading here. The ones that we ran away from. Okay, out of all these options, if they are the last pilgrimage, it was stated that they are ghosts, so we literally cannot fight them. I think the only option here is to run away. You are just about to give the order when Cedarius walks up to you. What is the meaning of this, Vagrus? There is no need for such a desperate act. It is just a dust storm. You tell him quickly about your previous encounter with the last pilgrimage. Nonsense. The chances that the pilgrims would show up again are... Cedarius trails off as the eerie twilight falls upon the comitatus, and the dust cloud envelops you all. There is no time to flee or hide, so you signal everyone to draw weapons and stand at the ready. Some of your crew tremble, some are praying, and some are about to break. But not Cedarius. The knight walks towards the approaching apparition as if he were possessed by a death wish. You can see Javek frowning and sweating in concentration, no doubt trying to combat your beast's instinct to flee in utter terror. In a few moments, you can hear the chanting and see the ghastly pilgrims clearly through the dust curtain. Desiccated forms in faded robes shuffling along the broken terrain, or rather, over the terrain somehow, as if floating at a rapid pace. Their vacant faces are illuminated by a dreadful pale light that emanates from their hollow insides. You are paralyzed by terror. Blurred images enter your mind, visions of a horrid procession of living dead wearing faded robes. You walk among them. You are one of them. Is this the end? Before they can reach you, The spectral pilgrims turn left and head south along a dried-out riverbed without any apparent reason. It takes your mind a few minutes to comprehend that an unusual mercy has just been granted you and your crew. The last pilgrimage marches on, slowly disappearing into the cracked badlands beyond, taking the ghoulish twilight and the dust storm with them. It takes a good few moments for the crew and yourself to come to your senses. Did this truly happen? What was the reason, if any, for the Spectre troop to change direction at the last second? How can it be explained that they appeared again after such a short time? Siderius walks over to you, looking confident, though you can see he is a bit shaken too. Sargorod is with us. This is an omen, if I have ever seen one. My destiny for retribution against the enemies of the Empire must be the reason why these horrors let us be. You swallow and nod, yet you are not so certain why it happened the way it did. Rest assured, Vagrus, as long as you have me by your side, no harm will come to your comitatus. Remember that. Siderius walks away, signaling the line to move along. Gain some insight from that. Still rattled, you move along the line, assuring everyone that the danger had passed. With the comitatus moving, you join Javek on top of the largest beast of burden, but you barely talk. You have never heard of anyone encountering the last pilgrimage twice. Somehow you do not feel blessed, haunted more like. After an hour or two, you and your crew fall back into your travel routines, and tonight, all this will seem much less terrifying. In fact, you should be grateful for avoiding certain death at the hands of these accursed things twice in a row. Hopefully, there won't be a third time. You move on towards Avernum. Okay. I can see the edge of the world on the map. Avernum is very close here. I have 2 days of supplies left. Okay, I'm not gonna use... Okay, why do I still have 10 medical supplies? I thought I used one. Still nothing here. Okay, going with half rations drops morale, obedience, and nutrition. I might have to do that the next day. Okay. Let's see. Gonna move here. Ah, there's a Avernum. I got 6 moves with March. That is just 1 step outside of Avernum. But that's a bummer. Okay, how many rations? Consumption is 86, and I have 137 supplies. So it's not even enough for a 150% ration. Oh, no, wait. My bad, it's just enough. Well, considering that we're gonna reach Avernum tomorrow anyway, might as well. Okay, nothing changed. The comitatus climbs a broken ridge, and everyone stops for a moment to take in the grim side of Avernum. nestled atop and around the range of large hills on the horizon to the southwest. Chimneys of the city's many forges and smelters cast a dark shadow over it, while the lava fields beyond the settlement provide an intense reddish glow as a backdrop. Several crude roads meander among the hills here, probably leading to the mines and quarries you had passed during the last day or so. Time for us to part ways for a while, Vagrus. The voice of Sidarius makes you jump a little. For a large fellow wearing heavy armor, he managed to creep up on you without a sound. He is standing beside you, gazing at the horizon. I have to make my way into the city alone. My reasons are my own. But before I go, I have a proposition for you. His voice and stature tell you that there is not much point in arguing. You are well aware, of course, that my contingent was betrayed and ambushed out in the wasteland where we met. During our trek back here, I have come to the conclusion that whoever betrayed us had to be someone involved in the investigation I led in Avernum before setting out from the city. Even though I have some ideas where to start looking for traitors, the implications of this despicable betrayal are too severe to attempt to meet it head-on. I require secrecy and guile. Most of my remaining allies in the city and I are too easy to track or recognize, and those responsible could easily make evidence disappear if I am revealed to be alive. Someone else has to provide that guile for us. After a short pause, he looks you in the eye. What I mean is that you, your friend the mage, and the rest of your crew could be vital in finding the culprits and bringing them to justice. The Empire needs your help, Vagrus. Okay, don't think I'm actually in the position to refuse him. So, what kind of assistance does he require? I need someone who is not known to have cooperated with the previous investigation and is not associated with me publicly. I need that someone to spy on unsuspected officials and criminals, while I coordinate the investigation from a hidden base of operations. You, Vagrus, and your crew fit the requirements perfectly. Additionally, you've proven yourself resourceful and tough since we met. Ask him about what exactly the betrayal implies. It implies people in high places, Vagrus. Possibly the highest in Avernum. It may be that offices of no small importance in the city were corrupted. But be not disheartened. Sergorod teaches us that such vile sin must be rooted out no matter how high it reaches and no matter the cost. Nevertheless, this must be approached with caution and a certain kind of secrecy that I and my allies do not possess due to our station. Okay, ask him about the investigation he had led in Avernum. I do not want to say much here. Suffice to say that I was summoned to the city by elements of authorities there. I was to take a leading part in a series of investigations into abolitionist activity. Yes, Vagrus, do not look so surprised. Slave lovers. Their despicable activities resulted in a whole group of these ingrates, escaping their bonds and evolving into banditry, preying on good citizens of the Empire, on comitati, on people like you and your crew. I and my Sergorodite contingent managed to catch quite a few of them with the aid of local authorities, but the liberated tribe itself was out of our reach until we found a lead that we followed north to the area where we met. We were supposed to locate their hideout and deal with them in a permanent fashion. The rest is history. Well, okay, we can agree to help him for the Empire or for gaining powerful friends. Agree to help him for a price. You are not an almoner, are you? It's funny, these were the exact words that Narbo told us. Well, I have a feeling that saying this to a zealot like him would end up in him saying, well, your price is the recognition of aiding the affairs of the Empire. Or like, your reward is the honor, or some shit like that. Yeah, you can't argue with madman, sadly. Let's agree to help him. Not like anything else is truly an option here. So Darius seems somewhat surprised, perhaps disappointed even, for a brief moment. Maybe he wanted to argue, flex his authority a bit. Too bad, sucker. Then he flashes what passes for a smile on him. Very well. I was indeed nurturing the hope that you'll be willing to aid the Empire in this perilous predicament. We will struggle side by side, just like we did near the voiceless lake Vagrus. And I can assure you, the Order of the Black Sun does not forget loyalty and dedication to the Empire. He slaps you on the shoulder. Now, let us part ways and follow my plan. So what is his plan? The plan for now is to make our ways into Avernum separately, so that you won't be associated with me at all. Rest assured that although they do not expect my return, the traitors would be informed at once had I turned up at the city gates. So, I have to find an alternate way in. I will send for you once I'm settled in. Someone trustworthy shall appear and guide you to my... The next word makes him wince. Hideout. We'll talk about your task there. You ask him about the belongings of his former comrades. The knight frowns. That might complicate matters somewhat. He looks thoughtful. Take their holy symbols to the temple of Surgorod quietly. You can get rid of the weapons as you see fit, but I forbid selling them at the market. It would draw too much attention to you, and we do not want that for now. Sedarius pierces you with his gaze. I sincerely hope I can trust you with this, Vagrus. Woe betide you if you do not comply. Yeah, there it is, his real feelings. With that, he takes his leave of you and waits as you signal the comitatus to move forward. The knight remains behind to find his way into the city on his own. A quarter of an hour later, Sedarius is only a speck on the horizon, and you are rapidly approaching Avernum. The last stretch before the city awaits you. Sedarius was removed from the comitatus.
Dark omens, ominous apparitions of an otherworldly covenant of spectres, a grim night out for vengeance, time and coin running out slowly. Yet against all odds, we journeyed to the city of Avernum on the Smoulderbone Flats, a place bustling with travellers, merchants and lowlifes. It was supposed to be a short stop on our way east, but we got more than we bargained for.
And I think that's gonna be it for today. I can use a little... Well, I still have movement points. I almost said little march into the city, but we don't even need that. Anyway, this has been quite a stretch of journey. We're gonna be looking at intrigue and hopefully some trading in Avernum. I have absolutely 8 supplies left. That's not gonna cut it. And I also have to pay everyone. Got 3 bros. I really hope this scrap metal sells. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. Okay, plus, if we have the coin for it, probably buy one more fighter to replace the one that was lost. But that's gonna be the next time. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, do consider leaving the video a like. And I'm gonna be back with some more Vagrus the Riven Realms. Until then, have a nice day.